Welcome to our YouTube video series on business and incorporation law. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal. And in this particular video, we're going to discuss 4 ways to easily lose corporate protections against personal liability and thereby lose the benefits of asset protection that many people sought to achieve by incorporating a company and running their business through that company. Now, the first way that you could easily lose the corporate protections is by simply not signing documents in the corporation's name. And the law is very clear on this, in that if the other party is of the belief or can be made to believe that you are signing in your personal capacity and they are not signing with a corporation, even if they come to know that they were dealing with a corporation after the fact, you could find yourself personally liable for not having signed in the company's name. The second way to lose your corporate protections is to sign contracts that require guarantors, indemnifiers, or some other form of personal acceptance. Now, this may well be unavoidable, and you simply, to do business, you have to confer and accept personal responsibility, such as with respect to banking documents, franchise agreements, commercial leases, and other matters with significantly large operations. They simply will not advance funds to a corporation unless it's a sizable corporation at that. So unless you're a Fortune 500 company, your small mom and pop company will not be getting those bank loans, will not necessarily be getting the commercial property leases, commercial equipment leases, or franchise agreements without taking personal responsibility for those matters. The third way to lose corporate protections is through your capacity as an officer and or director of the company. Because unless you only stay a shareholder, you can find yourself assuming liability for the company's actions by actively operating it. Now, 2 of the main ways you can find yourself is through statutory liability and statutory offenses. So, the first being statutory liability, where money is owed to the government. Naturally, the government's going to find a way to work itself around. So whether it's with respect to money that's due on taxes, employment insurance, pension plans, as a director and officer, you are personally liable for those amounts, even though you have the corporation sitting there between yourself and yourself personally. So on that front, the second is with respect to various statutory offenses. These can be environmental offenses, they can be criminal offenses. The government once again says that they can come after yourself personally in your capacity as an officer or director. You're not merely a shareholder, you're actively engaged, and as such, they can come after you. Now, the fourth way is through piercing the corporate veil. And this really portends to instances of fraud or other actions of an illegal or improper purpose. So you're trying to use the corporation to protect yourself in an improper manner, trying to deceive others, trying to get one up on people improperly. Courts reluctantly, but in severe cases, will pierce the corporate veil and find yourself liable. Now, this will not, as a further aspect, and this is not necessarily reducing the corporate protection, but making you liable, is that you could be improperly named in your personal capacity in a lawsuit. And that's going to be costly on a personal front, but it does happen far too often. And then it becomes a matter of dealing with the situation and going through extensive legal process and still having to pay considerable amounts of money in your own personal defense. Yes, at the end of the day, You might be taken off the case. You might even be able to recoup some of the money. But initially at least, you're going to have to defend yourself personally, not just by the corporation, but personally, and have to incur the costs associated with that. So those are 4 ways that you could lose the corporate protections against personal liability and therefore effectively defeat the purposes of asset protection planning. Should you require legal representation on these or other business and corporate matters, and we are authorized to practice in your particular jurisdiction, please feel free to contact us through the information available at our website or as might be found in the description to this YouTube video. And we will ascertain whether we might be of assistance to yourself in these business and corporate matters. Thank you.